What's up, everybody? Big Herc, Prison Talk Live. What's going on with you? Hope you had a great weekend. Hopefully you got to, bust some female cheeks out there, if that's your thing. And, enjoy life. I'm always talking about being positive, doing things that, inspire you. That's what life's all about, man. It's about making the right choices, or if you've made the wrong choice, starting to make the right choice. So if you guys haven't had a chance, make sure you go check out FreshOutSeries.com. We got that fresh merch in. And these shirts, the new shirts are off the chain, man. Peep game. The new Sinister Monopoly t-shirts are in. Order yours today. Don't sleep on them. They came out super fresh. So order yours today. The Sinister Monopoly Fresh Out Collabo shirts are in. Check out Fresh Out Merch Lab store, and you can order yours off the website, FreshOutSeries.com. Also, if you haven't got a chance and you're about that positivity and that motivation, go check out Big Herc 916 on YouTube. I'm always talking about things that make you think, things that aren't related to prison, and some things that are. So, hey, check it out. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, support Big Herc 916. A lot of things going on in the news. We had Easter just passed. You had some, sad things going on in Sri Lanka, man. Shout out to the victims out there, man. You have some dummies who blew up some stuff, man. And it's just sad when people do ignorant stuff like that, man. Nobody benefits from that. There's nothing that can come from that. Somebody's been asking, want to have a channel phone. If you guys want to book life coaching or private consultation through Fresh Out, go to the website. You can shoot us a message through the website, book that. To be honest with you, I don't have time to be talking to people one-on-one just to be chopping it up. I got enough things going on in my life between Fresh Out, Big Herc 916, buying and selling cars and talking with my wife. So I don't want to be rude, but I just, I don't have the time just to be sitting on the phone chopping it up with you guys. I do private consulting. You can also hit me up on Big Herc 916, but I don't really sit back and talk on the phone with people, man. The shoes are still going down. If you guys haven't seen the custom shoes by Big Herc, go to our Instagram, Fresh Out Series. I'm still doing the custom shoes for free for the next 2 weeks. So order your pair and let me know what you want me to hook them up with, and I'll get it on for you, man. Why have my gym the homie flexed on you? I ain't never had nobody flex on me at the gym. I'm gonna do the shout outs at the end, man. Somebody said, Zephyr Records, thank you for the donation. Your gym had the ruthless Peter Gazer. What do you do? Well, I mean, I don't know to what extent he's ruthless. If he's actually just doing the Superman stare, then you need, let him need to know you don't get out like that. But other than that, I mean, hopefully you ain't walking around the locker room, going gorilla, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you should be all right. Somebody said, thank you, Matthew, for the donation. Big Herc, do you keep any fish or tanks? Yeah, I got 3 fish tanks. If you've seen some of the videos I've done as far as some of the Big Herc 916 and some of the prison talks, you can see I got a fish tank. I got a turtle in one of them with a landing. So I'm all into the aquarium stuff, man. I'm a big fan of aquatic stuff. Have you seen Captain Marvel? I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet. Who's going to go see the Avengers this weekend? They said it's going to be crazy, man, trying to get tickets. So I'm going to probably wait until it kind of dies down a little bit later on the week and go get my tickets, man. But I'm definitely going to go see Avengers. I'm a big Avenger fan. Somebody said, what college and technical college programs do prisons offer for inmates who are interested? I don't know. It depends on what prison you're at. I mean, where I was at, guys were taking correspondence courses. There were local junior colleges in the area, and the professors were sending the assignments, and you could take the courses. But I'm not an expert on every prison and what they offer. That would be left up to that person. So I couldn't tell you, to be honest, as far as what each prison, what they offer as far as programs are concerned. What are some of the jobs felons can't do when they get out? What job can they do? Well, jobs they can't do are usually jobs that require serious background checks. Becoming a Series 7 stockbroker, sometimes real estate, certain medical jobs, because it's an ethics issue there. Unless you go back and get your record pardon, then you can go and apply. And even then, when you apply for your real estate license or, say, your Series 7 or Series 23, they're going to ask you what you were locked up for, and you got to be honest, and you got to put everything on the table. And then it usually goes before somebody who decides whether or not you are worthy of getting your license. Because I know somebody who had a pardon, and they got the real estate license, but they had to go through a whole screening process and before a board. So, it's possible, but yeah, certain jobs where you handle money or you do financial transactions because you're an ex-felon, it can come into question. Have we ever had any offers to get Fresh Out picked up for a TV series? That's our ultimate goal, is to have Fresh Out picked up and to be on a cable network. We haven't dealt with anybody who was forthcoming per se. I mean, the whole thing is, and any of this stuff is, you want to make sure if you put your blood, sweat, and equity into a project, you can maintain some type of financial interest in it. And a lot of times, people just want to take your project and throw you to the curb. So you got to be careful reading contracts, man. You got to really know what's up as far as what you're signing if you decide to go with a production company to put your stuff on a network. Somebody said here, felons can be mortgage loan officers or realtors 7 years later. Yeah, so there you go. You could be a mortgage loan officer, and I'm quite sure there's other technical jobs you can be involved in. It just depends on what you were convicted of, and a lot of times the person interviewing you or reviewing your files will determine whether or not they're going to allow you to continue in that job position. Somebody said, I tried being an EMT, but because of my background, I can't. Yeah, you're going to have to, look into something else. Jared Mendez, thanks for the donation. Big fan, brother. Appreciate all you do. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Big Herc, what did you invest your first $1,000 in? When I got out and I got my first G, to be honest with you, I took that money and I think I bought, with my first couple $100, I bought some decent clothes that fit, to be presentable. So, if I went to a job interview or had to be out in public, I didn't look like I was a ex-felon with all the, with the gray sweats and shit stuff. And then, I think my next, little chunk of change, I got like $2,000 or $1,500. I went and bought a car, to get around in. Because in LA, you got to have a car. What should I do before going to prison for 10 years? Get your finances in order, put your money aside in something that's going to be create passive income. If you have the opportunity to prepare yourself before you go in, and you can set up your finances, that's the biggest thing, man. And so that you have money that's working for you, because when you get out, the hardest thing for anybody, the biggest challenge is financial. So make sure you get your finances in order and have your money so that it's working for you, whether you put it in some type of IRA account or mutual fund or Even invested in, if you want to be super conservative, invest in some gold, put that thing in a safe deposit box, invest in some, possible, maybe a classic car that's going to sit around and you can sell it when you get out. But you got to have people that you could trust to handle your money. Do you still flip cars? Yeah. I'm actually, man, I got the green machine is up for sale, man. I'm gonna flip the green machine and bust a couple moves. I got a couple of the cars, that I'm working on restoring. So the Chevelle is up for sale, man. Did you have friends outside your race in prison? Yeah. If you've been following Fresh Out, I talk about my family, which is the family I formed in prison. My cellie at one of my spots was Mexican. My other friend was white. My other partner was Korean. My other partner was Belizean. I had quite a few Mexican friends in there, and I got down with a lot of different people, man. So I didn't limit myself to just the black race when I was in prison. I networked with everybody, and I had a lot of good dudes that that looked out for me. Did you see the feeling cute stuff with No, I don't know what you're talking about by that. I don't know what you mean by that. What jobs can convicted murderers get, if any? I don't know, man. I don't know if you got a manslaughter charge or whatever, or murder. I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody who's been convicted of murder. I don't know anything about that. I've never seen any inmates play sports with the guards. Not like like we said, the seventh yard or whatever, the longest yard, whatever the movie. I've never seen anything like that. Flipping cars is a waste of time unless you're a mechanic. Hey, more power to you, bro. I made money flipping cars. I have people doing the work that was minimal, and I would flip them. I wouldn't do full restorations, but whatever. People make money. You can make money. There's a lot of ways you can make money in the car game. Why is racial segregation a thing in prison in the first place? Because there's a bunch of ignorance in there, man, and you have people who are small-minded who want to control, basically garbage. The drug trade is one of the biggest things that creates segregation because certain races control the flow of drugs, and then you got people using drugs, so that's a big thing. People build up debt, and there's a lot of, you kick off riots. There's all type of stuff, man, but racism, man, in prison is because you have some of the most ignorant people you could think of doing time, and they don't know how to communicate outside their initial race, so you have perpetuation of that ignorance. And a lot of the older cats who've been around, they keep pushing that because that's what they get their power from. One quick question. Say if you're a silent cat that pays attention to what's going on and a lot of others want to requit you, how do you play that? I don't know what you mean by requit you, but if you mind your business, man, and you're on point, I mean, shit, you really want to have a lot of issues. Now, if somebody's sweating you and then you get at them, you catch them slipping. Doors crack, you run up in there real quiet and like, hey, man, you got a problem with me. Once they see that you about your business, and if you got to take it a step further, you handle your business, but you got to let that person know right off the top you ain't going for the bull. Because, some people will try to test you. I know a dude doing construction with a murder rap. There you go. Without segregation, prison would be anarchy. And this, no, man. Segregation is, that's like saying segregation on a street. Segregation is the most ignorant concept and racist thing that could be implemented in any form of society, whether it be in India where they have the caste system, whether it's in Asia where they have the dark and the light, or even here, man. Segregation is for fools, man. What? 'Cause, 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 Big homie, I used to be a fighter on the outside, but I'm looking at some time. Can I accept to get messed with? Who's going to know you're a fighter unless you go in there running your mouth, man? Nobody knows what your skill set is unless you put it out there. Mind your business. If you got to go to prison, man, just keep to yourself, man. Don't be sharing a bunch of your intimacies with people up in there because you can't trust anybody, you know? So and if you, hopefully, if you're watching this show, you can find a way to, hey, go get your, go get you some letters written and some other stuff that'll help possibly get your time reduced. If you're still fighting your case, do your research. Get in that law library, man. Start asking questions. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people do comment on here for attention, man. Ask some stupid stuff. Somebody said my stepdad went to prison for 6 years and now running a construction company making six figures. Hey, man, construction is big. A lot of guys go to prison. They get contract. They learn how to do framing. A lot of things working with contracting, flooring, plumbing, and they get out and they make money, man. So there's really no excuse. You have all the time in the world in there to focus. You can study to be, like you said, if you can't do real estate yourself, have somebody take the test for you and you help them find the properties. I mean, if you're a smart person and you work around it, if you can't get a stockbroker license, pay for somebody else to get the license, you study the stock market and have them do your trading. There's ways around everything, man. I respect to disagree. All right, well, I'm not going to really get into that, man. I dealt with a lot of different people in the feds, and there's a lot of smart people in different races, and I would never limit myself to just one particular demographic, man. Do you consider yourself what is a drop? A DO? Drop? I don't understand that. Inactive gang. This is the thing, man. A lot of people, I just talked with somebody today that I'm gonna be interviewing, and they were a wood in prison, and they ran with whatever. When you get out of prison, don't nobody give a damn on the street about that shit that you were doing in there. Your best bet is to keep that to yourself so you don't scare people and learn how to integrate into society and be productive. Because all that you telling somebody, unless you're a rapper nowadays who's making money off of, saying you're a gang member and you can commercialize it, and ain't no future in that shit, man. There is no money being made. Unless you're running around with some high-powered, cartel, and you're just on some other shit. And the thing is, if you look like you're a gang member, you're not gonna last too long because you're gonna be on the radar. So I'm telling you right now that if people want to act like, oh man, you're active doing what? If the guys I know who were factors, they're driving trucks now. They're working for construction companies. They got their own businesses. Man, they're not worried about what the hell's going on as far as gangbanging. Man, they're getting money, man, taking care of their families. That's what you got to look at. Youngsters out there, man, you guys got the game twisted, man. Zephyr Records, thanks for the donation. My state classifies chomos as mental illness. Yeah, that's sad, bro. Mental illness. Yeah, right. Everybody wants to make an excuse for somebody who's got some damn issues, man. What are you investing in? Commodities, but not like what you're thinking on the market, actual physical commodities, and some cryptos here and there, and just investing in my brand, clothing, just invested in myself. Do you ever feel like you run out of content? Nah, because it's not just about talking about prison. I mean, Fresh Out right now is just Fresh Out. Fresh Out could be anything. We're still accepting submissions. If you guys are in other countries, other cities, you want to get down, because we don't, we've done Skype interview but that's not our thing. If we interview you in person. But if you want to submit content, You know, whether you're a skateboarder, if you're a club promoter, if you're a car guy, if you're somebody who's a clothing designer, a rapper, hey man, shoot us a message at FreshOutSeries.com or shoot us an email at FreshOutSeries@gmail. And if it gets approved by the team, we'll send you a release and we'll post your stuff up, man. If it's really edited well, you know that's a way to make sure it gets looked at. But Fresh Out is not just about prison. It's about a lifestyle. It's about a movement. It's about people being productive, people being successful, people pursuing their goals. So the prison stuff, man, really that shit is that's not what we're about. We're about life after. We're about really opening doors and being entrepreneurs and being successful. That's what Fresh Out's all about. Fresh out, and getting that cheese. I do want to say, watching your show, I've got my time reduced and have had my life go in a really positive direction. Thank you, boss man. Really thank you for doing this. Hey, man, shout out to you. Appreciate you supporting. Hey, that's what this is all about. It's not about glorifying prison, bragging about what type of super gang member you are. It's about being on point, man, and not going to prison. Being smart enough to do something else with your life that puts you in a position where you can take your family to another level, man. It ain't about living on the block and being a man for what? I mean, if you want that, then hey, this ain't the channel for you. There's other channels that talk about prison that make you seem like it's a party. It wasn't a party for me, man. I didn't think it was cool. I didn't care for the people in there. I didn't care for COs telling me what to do. I didn't like having a warden dictate my life. I didn't like having myself at the mercy of somebody else. So prison to me was garbage. And the people who brag about it, they never had anything on the streets. They ain't never lived. They ain't never left the country. They ain't traveled. They ain't been to a bukkake. They ain't never had no fun, man. Because I'm telling you right now, prison is not fun. Did I ever smoke weed in the pen? Nah, I never smoked weed on the street. Herc mess with futures and commodities. I got. You mess with futures and commodities. Oh, put me up. You got the game, man. Let me hear what you're talking about. Shoot me an email, FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Hey, Herc, do you think you could still street plan on a skateboard like in the intros? You know, I haven't tried a handstand yet, man. That's what I haven't tried. You know, the ollie was a little bit different. You know what I mean? I didn't bust my butt on that, but a hand plant, it might be another story. I have to practice that before I get that on camera. What's the craziest thing I've seen in prison? People getting stabbed, man. People, you know, somebody bleeding out and everybody walking by them. You know, somebody that looks like they were dead and you can't even stop to see if the person's breathing. That's the craziest thing I've seen in prison is a body on the ground bleeding out, and you keep walking because you don't want to be put under investigation or be a suspect for a stabbing. Can you get a sentence where you don't have to do parole? If you, it's a possibility depending on if you go back for a violation and you have the violation tied into no parole, no paperwork. I've seen people do that where they just say, you know what, I would rather just do the extra time than to have the paperwork. So that I've seen that happen before. But as far as a fresh sentence, you getting out not having parole, nah. Anytime I've seen anybody do any amount of time, unless it's a violation, they've had paperwork. As far as anywhere from a year to 10 years probation or parole. Do you like weightlifting or body workouts more? I like lifting weights. I do dips and pull-ups and stuff like that, push-ups here and there, but you know, I prefer to go to the gym or hit the bag or do something, you know, that has some type of resistance. How did you deal with anger and negativity in prison? I learned how to meditate, and I really read a lot of books that were about positive energy, things that kind of like gave me a sense of self, you know, clear my mind. I didn't talk to people about negative stuff. I didn't engage in negative activity as far as conversations. And the less you talk about negativity, the less you'll be negative. If you talk about negativity, you watch the news as negative, you listen to all the negative stuff out there, you're going to be negative. If you cut all that out and you just you tap into positive energy and things that are of a happy nature, then you'll be happy. Smelly Nelly, thanks for the donation. Your comment's stupid though, so I'm not gonna entertain it, man. But thanks anyways. Herc, if you get caught busting a CO's cheeks, who's in more trouble, you or her? If you get caught busting a female's cheeks, all she has to say was that you raped her and you're getting punished. For her to not get caught up, she could say anything and you're going down. You're going down regardless. She can get fired, but you're going to get diesel therapy, beat down. Every CO in the system is going to know your rundown because it's going to be on your jacket. And man, your life's going to be miserable. Did you ever read? What? Yeah, we did a lot of reading. Any book you recommend? We have a book list on FreshOutSeries.com. Check it out. I talk about a lot of the books, and if you go to BigHerc916.com, I talk about books I read all the time. I mean, there's a lot of books out there. One of the most profound books I've read is Neil Donald Scott Walsh, Conversations with God. It's a spiritual book. It really opened my mind and just took a lot of negative teachings out of my mental, and I loved it. It opened my mind up to a whole nother path. But there's a lot of books out there. Deepak Chopra has some good stuff. There's a lot of spiritual stuff out there you can read. Richard Branson's autobiography is great. I read this guy named Kwame Tuma. You guys probably, or Stokely Carmichael, a black activist, very, very intelligent. The Hurricane story about the boxer who's wrongfully convicted. Denzel played the guy in the movie. Is a great book. Very, very inspirational. Malcolm X's autobiography is very inspirational. What he went through in prison and how he came out and become a very strong, very powerful leader. A lot of books, man. But check out the website and also Big Herc 916 on Instagram. Even if you consider someone a friend, isn't it worth trying to help them if they won't help themselves? Nah, man, you gotta help yourself, man. If a person ain't trying to help themselves, it's a waste of energy. I don't have time to pull dead weight, and unless you like dealing with that stress, then I would suggest that you try to find someone who's actually looking to change for the better. Big Hurt, do you get $200 when you get released from the feds? Because in the state, they usually give you $200 when you get out. And the feds, they give you whatever money you have on your books. I don't know if you're just flat broke, if they give you like a stipend. I'm not familiar with that. I know I had some money on my books, so they gave me that. I cashed out, but they only give you so much cash, and then the rest is like a money order or a cashier's check or something like that. So I believe that's how it worked. I can't remember, but I'm quite sure they're only going to give you so much cash when you leave. Somebody said my homie said 10 years in the feds bank robbery. Okay. My neighbor across from me that I'm cool with, his wife, she's busted about nothing to do while he's at work. I feel bad. Should I tell him straight up or no? Hey man, if you know about somebody's wife getting their cheeks busted, and if it's not really your homie, then you might want to watch out where you put your nose in, because sometimes it can backfire on you. Depending on how well you know the person. So that's like iffy move, man. You got to watch out who you expose as far as decide to put yourself on somebody else's business. How much money should I save for a business startup, Herc? Depends on what you're starting up. I mean, it depends on what kind of business you're looking to get into. If you're going to do a drop ship, you might not need as much, but usually the first thing you want to do is set up your corporation. If you're going to do a logo, trademark your logo, show how it's being used in commerce. And, those are some of the basics. So in order to do that, you need at least, $1,000 something dollars, and then you want to have a bank account. So you're going to need at least over 1,000. But I mean, it just all depends on what kind of business you're starting up and if you got to buy certain materials. Michael Smith, thanks for the donation. The interview with Cree talking about the Bebop one-man mission in the kitchen is funny and hysterical. Yeah. Shout out to Cree. Yeah, he kept it 100, man. He been through the system for real, and that's a real G right there, man. And he's doing very good for himself. He's driving trucks. He's doing his thing, making good money and writing books and doing his acting stuff, man. So shout out to him. When she did, she went straight to the feds, huh? Are you allowed? Herc, if you wear designer glasses, are you allowed to wear them in prison? Does that make you a target? I mean, there's guys in there with Gucci glasses. I've seen dudes in there flossing. Hey, man, there's some dudes in there, they're wearing, custom shoes that they done got in by some way. And, man, you're only a target if you allow yourself to be a target. If you a guy who's like that, I mean, if you're balling and people know some dudes are just balling. There were some dudes in there, people knew they were balling. Wasn't nobody messing with them. So just because you have a paper in prison doesn't mean that somebody's going to run up on you unless they feel you're vulnerable. There's cats up in there, man, creased up, doing their thing, and, they got hitters, even in prison. So if you get out of line, you think you're going to, step to a dude and check him, man, that, you're going to get your wig split, man. Anyways, time for the shout outs. So I'm going to get the shout outs cracking, man. Shout outs to Sacramento, North Highlands, everybody from my town, the Heights, Oak Park, South area, East Side, everybody, man, Sacramento, the Bay Area. Shout out to who we got? Shout out to Canada. Shout out to the Bay Area, of course. Who else we got out there? Houston, Texas. Watt Avenue, yeah, I know about that. Whittier, California. 415, Frisco, Vacaville. Blythe. Brixton, South London. Istanbul, Pakistan. Oslo, Norway. San Taklus. Cali Grown Trees, thanks for donation. Shout out to Burbank. Shout out to Grand Forks, North Dakota. Pomona, Minnesota. Atlanta, Vacaville. Pacoima. All the Tongan and Samoan deportees. Tupelo, Missouri. Milwaukee, Minnesota. Los Angeles. Canton, Ohio. South and Seattle. 707, Phoenix. Homies in 24th Street, Sacramento. Alabama. El Paso, Texas. Azusa. Venice, Evergreen Strait, Eastside, San O. Compton, Puerto Rico, Alabama. Regent Park, West LA. Stockton. Hey, man. Coos Bay, Oregon. Virginia, West Coast, Mexico. Roseville, California, Alabama. U.S. Military, 805, Brooklyn. somebody from Harlem, Lucedale, Missouri, New Jersey in the house, Michoacan, Diego, Houston, Texas. I try to give a shout out to the cities. I don't really want to promote the gang stuff here. It's not that type of page, man. We're not trying to create, divide and separation. We're all here to get something positive. We're all here to try to get laced up, man. We're trying to do better. We're trying to make money. We're trying to be successful. And it's not about, riding on each other over stupid stuff where most of you guys don't even know each other. You know what I mean? So if I'm giving a shout out, it's because I'm trying to represent your town, man. Kenya, San Bernardino, again. Hey, shout out to everybody who tuned in. I appreciate y'all. Tune in next week. Holler at me. Check out the website. Get your Fresh Out t-shirt at FreshOutSeries.com. And if you want to do an interview, you can message us through the website or shoot us an email at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. I'm out.